Hi, it's Chris from Duffy Floors. I'm back again, Frank H. Duffy Incorporated, wood flooring specialist. And right now we're talking about Brazilian cherry and the red tone that's in Brazilian cherry. As you know from my other videos, we've got a customer that wants to get rid of that red tone. So we've been doing some bleaching, some pickling with some white stains, some gray stains, and I've coated those samples with some water-based polyurethane. And I want to show you guys the result. Basically what I have right here is a piece of Brazilian cherry flooring that has got some oil-based finish on it. This is a rather old sample. It's probably a year or two old, and you can see how red that this sample has gotten. So the customer really wants to try to get rid or minimize this red tone that's in here, but she wants to go lighter, not darker, but lighter. So my control sample of what we saw before is right here, and this on this side of it over here, that is the natural tone of the wood with an oil-based polyurethane on it. Over on the right, we bleached the wood, the Brazilian cherry. We bleached it with an A and B bleach. Then we went over it with a B bleach, and then I put water-based urethane on that. So you can see quite a bit of difference there, but still, once it gets to see the sunlight, it is going to redden quite a bit. So she's trying to get rid of that, and so let's move to our other samples that I've prepared. And these samples we took and we bleached them, and then we pickled them. So I've got my first sample here. This is the Brazilian cherry, which you can see on the back here. And the Brazilian cherry, we did an A and B bleach on this sample, and then we did a pickling, a white stain pickling on it. I did leave the white stain on there for at least about 10 minutes or so, and then wiped it off. Very difficult to get white stain very even, easy on a sample, but a lot more difficult on a floor. And what I've noticed is that we've got some texture in here, and we've got these little pinholes that come up, and they're not letting, sometimes they're letting not enough stain get into that, and in other cases they're letting too much stain in, and so it bleeds out. So our next sample with the white stain, this sample was done with an A and B bleach, followed by another coat of a B bleach, just B, and then we did the white stain on top of that. It came out pretty consistent. I think we've done our job of getting rid of the red here, but we do have some inconsistencies. If you can see in this middle board here, it has got a lot of these little pinholes are bleeding out again. So with that, that's going to be an inconsistency that we're going to have from board to board, and trying to figure out how we're going to minimize that. Our gray samples over here, this first gray sample, this was done with an A and B bleach, and then we put a custom mix gray stain on it. It came out not too bad. We still have some pinholes that bled out. Not too much I can do about that. And these have all been coated with a water-based polyurethane, the Traffic water-based, made by the Bona company. And these are in a semi-gloss sheen. The middle board here has bled out a little bit, but you can see that it is still pretty red for the boards that are around it. That's the natural variation of all woods. We don't grow the trees, so every board is going to be different, and that's some of the uniqueness of a wood floor. This sample is the same gray stain, but what we did was we bleached it with an A and B bleach, and then we followed through with a B bleach. Then we stained it with the gray stain, and as you can see, quite pronounced in this middle board, we've got a lot of these little pinhole pockets, and it's really the oil from the wood that's naturally in the wood that is pushing this stain back out. It dried. There's no way to really get rid of this or even it out, because if I were to buff down the entire floor, all the areas around it would become lighter and a lot more inconsistent. So I don't know if you can see this, but right here you can see how the pinholes have bled out, and I don't know what we're going to be able to do about that, but it's something. That's why I'm preparing the samples to show the customer so that she can be aware of all of the inconsistencies that may happen. Another sample here that we were working on before in my workshop was this one, which was very, very dark Brazilian cherry. I picked a couple of boards that were very dark. And what we did was we bleached it with an A and B bleach twice, 2 times, and then we went over it with another coat of bleach, just the bee bleach, to lighten it up quite a bit. So we have gotten rid of some of the red tones, but it is still pretty dark. And we put the white stain on the top here. On the bottom was a gray stain. Really don't know how any of these stains are going to be affected by the sunlight, if it's going to start bleeding out the red from the tannins in the wood again, or whether we've done enough bleaching where we can subdue that for a number of years. So those are the samples I have. We're going to be back on the job site. We'll be starting it next week. So once we get on the job site, we'll take some more pictures, we'll do some videos on it, and we'll see how the customer reacts to the samples that we prepared. That's all for now. This is Chris from Duffy Floors, signing out. Thank you for listening.